Welcome to the Trying to Be Better podcast with Joel and Steve.
Hi, Joel.
Hi, Steve.
What's going on, man?
Hi, faithful listeners.
Listeners.
Welcome to the Trying to Be Better podcast with Joel and Steve.
Yeah. I just want you all to know that we're squeezing this one in.
You know, we're squeezing this one in and we're squeezing this one out, aren't we?
That's right. Ooh. That sounds kind of gross.
You got a lot going on today?
Yeah, well, just in general. I mean, I always
You
have
do
time. I always have time for, the faithful TTBB army.
TTBB Army.
That's straight from BTS Army because it's all about BTS in my house right
BTS
now.
Army or Kiss Army. Kiss Army.
Sure, it kind of dates back to that. Yeah.
Were you?
I was never part of the Kiss Army.
I was just, that's like, before my time a little bit. You have a few years on me.
I was a young kid when that was a thing. I was like not even 10 yet,
I think that if I would have been,
you would have totally been on Kiss Army.
yeah, if I wasn't being indoctrinated by the fundamentalist Christian movement,
Right.
Some of the people in my life.
Well, that's why you would have been part of the Kiss Army.
I think so. I think that might have really saved, you know what? That might have saved me a lot of bullshit Christian trauma.
Right. Yeah.
The Kiss Army. I could have enlisted in the Kiss Army.
Yeah.
Save a lot of therapy bills.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you're born too late, man.
Born too late.
Too late to be saved by rock and roll. That's not true. It was a nice little corporate package there for that brief period of time.
Well, yeah. Well, like I look back at some of that memorabilia and I'm like, they had comic books. They had, newsletters.
It was a marketing juggernaut.
Stickers.
Yeah.
Action figures.
The whole deal. A movie.
Mm-hmm.
I vaguely remember the movie. Vaguely.
I didn't know there was a movie. I knew there was
something about an
amusement. Wasn't there? Rock and Roll High School was kind of a Ramones movie, right? Or was it?
That's a Ramones song.
But did they make that song for the movie?
I don't know.
Come on, man.
I don't know. I was a kid. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. Hi. Welcome to the podcast. You're here with
sort of.
I've had a whirlwind of a weekend, my friend.
Yeah, dude. You Joel, have you seen any good concerts lately?
Nothing good.
Nothing good, right? Yeah.
Follow, like, and subscribe. Email us at ttbbpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at Trying to Be Better Podcast. Or no, is it just Trying to Be? Yeah, it's Trying to Be Better Podcast. Dude, my brain is fried.
Yeah. What's understandable? You
got
put through the ringer voluntarily.
So I had a work thing. I had a work trip.
What was the deal with Denver? Why did you go to Denver?
Okay, so there was a recruiting event for my line of work, right?
Yes.
So we went there to recruit and meet potential, talented students, blah, blah, blah. It was great. I saw a lot of wonderful people. The issue was that I was the person. I was the only one in the barrel. Like I was the only one at the booth, and I met some really cool people I met somebody from, I think, what is it? Western Colorado University or Western Colorado College. He and I had a booth right next to one another. I met somebody who was a part of the Cal Arts Army, and he started Cal Arts like the year after I graduated. So we exchanged information. It was really great. I literally was the only dude at the booth.
So you were a booth babe.
I was the booth babe.
Uh-huh.
Nonstop talking to people. My voice right now is nice and resonant because I did nothing but talk to people.
I was noticing how nicely resonant your voice was.
It was prep for this. So there was a lot of energy expended upon, talking to people, which was great.
I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
That's why I was there. And then I was originally going to parlay this into I've been like craving going skiing for the last couple of years. I just haven't gone.
Yeah.
And
Wait, do you
I don't know if
ski or do
anybody-
you snowboard?
I'm a skier.
Gotcha.
I didn't really. So my previous job, we took ski trips, and I thought about I'm going to pick up snowboarding because our pal Kemper is a snowboarder.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Mhm.
he snowboards,
Right.
and I'm like, well, maybe I'll pick that. I'm like, no, I kind of already know how to ski, so I'm not going to add it. I don't want to re-injure myself just to learn this. So I'm just going to keep skiing. So
Sure.
I enjoy skiing.
That's
But
legit.
There's snow on some of the slopes up there, but they're the more advanced ones. I'm not there to like.
You're not feeling a compound fracture right now?
No, I'm not there to do the, what is it? The K2, the K12.
K12, yeah.
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 Yeah. I'm not there to do
I'm just here to
that.
collect my $2. That's it.
Exactly. So anyway, I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to go skiing. I'm not going to stick around and go skiing. So, wonder what's going on in Denver. And I was like, maybe I'll go to a Nuggets game. They're out of town. Maybe I'll go to an Avalanche game. They're out of town. Maybe the Broncos they're out of town. And I'm like, I don't know why I forgot this, but J-Rad, Joe Russo's Almost Dead, was playing in Broomfield Saturday or Friday night.
Yeah, they were.
And I immediately bought a ticket.
Right.
And so, I did go. To answer your question, I went to a good concert.
Yeah. How was it? How was the J-Rad? That's all you can say, really.
It was 4 fucking hours
Mhm.
of face stealing, skull effing Grateful Dead amazingness.
Yeah.
So I was standing in line because there was, some extra security precautions at the venue, which was nice. And I was talking to this like middle-aged couple, a little older than both of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we were just chatting it up. I'm from Lincoln, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, we're from around here. And he was like, yeah, I've just been, listening to some Grateful Dead, getting ready for tonight. I'm like, have you seen these guys? I said, have you seen J-Rad before? And he's like, J-Rad? I'm like, yeah, that Joe Russo's Almost Dead. He's like, oh yeah, no, I haven't, but I know they play, they kind of play the music, and I'm just excited.
Dude, you have no idea what you're in for.
You don't know what's about to happen to you.
Right.
Because what you think is about to happen to you is not what they have their own. I was like, kind of like almost warning him, like, buckle up, because
buckle up, kids.
What you think they're going to do, they're not going to do.
They're going to rip your head off, and then they're
Like,
going to shove it down your throat. And then
they
they're
started
going to
out
pull it
with,
back out.
I need a miracle.
Yeah,
and
that
just
was
like
great.
the first note, just like it
Blam!
took the wind out of you. And they didn't let up for 4 hours. I didn't leave that venue until after midnight, and the show started pretty close to 8:00. It started like 8:10, 8:15.
Yeah.
Set break was not long. It was brutal.
Bonkers.
Yeah, the only time they kind of brought the tempo down, except transitioning between songs, was they played a pristine version of Stella Blue.
Oh, that's nice.
Everything else was like balls out.
I watched, the free preview videos or whatever. I dug Scotty Metzger's I Need a Miracle vocal. It was like if Tom Waits was doing his Elvis Presley impression.
Yeah. That's a great description.
Yeah.
I was kind of like side stage on his side. And he kind of looks like Tom Waits.
He does. Yeah. That's where that came from.
But he has like he does the Bobby stuff really well.
He does. Yeah. It's kind of like listening to Tommy Hamilton sing Jerry Garcia. It's not the same, but it works.
It works.
If once you kind of have to like, okay, all right, it takes a mental shift, but especially because it's one of those things like we were talking, you may have seen the text thread. Me and Dave and Jack were talking about Dave was asking if we were going to see Bon Iver. Is that how you say that?
Oh yeah.
And Jack and I are like, man, we already seen him. And so Dave's like, what? And so we saw Justin Vernon. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Sing a few songs with the Dead in Alpine Valley in 2018. And
forgot about that.
It was terrible. It was so bad.
Full disclosure, I like Bon Iver, and I do have tickets to see them when they come to Lincoln.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be a nice evening. But they came out and like he was there, Justin Vernon was there because he was hanging out with Bobby's daughter, right?
Mhm.
And word had gotten out through the crowd that he was there, so everybody kind of assumed that he'd sit in, maybe.
Yeah.
And so in the middle of the first set, they bring him out, and everybody's kind of like, all right, because traditionally guests sit in people, it's kind of one of those things, you just endure it and get them off stage and then get back to that usually doesn't go very well, right?
Yeah, right.
Because it's just such a bizarre thing. And so anyway, he comes out, and the song, for whatever reason they chose to open with, or his sit in with, was Black Muddy River in the middle of the first set, which is it's a dirge.
Yeah, right.
Like that is a end of the concert, encore, maybe post. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
first set is for partying and getting down, not for deep soulful introspection. That's way later.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
first of all, questionable song choice.
Yeah.
Second of all, he comes out and starts like, we don't know this guy. Maybe a few people in the crowd are kind of familiar with him or whatever, or fans.
Yeah.
But he's not, like, I'm vaguely aware that he exists, right?
Right.
And he comes out, and you know how in the band, how Richard Manuel used to sing in that high falsetto,
Mm-hmm.
that thing.
Yeah.
And well, he comes out and starts singing Black Muddy River like that.
Yeah.
When the last is of summer, and everybody's like, just like that guy I was talking about at Fiddler's Green a couple weeks ago. What the fuck is this? Who is this? And it was awful.
Oh no,
it was awful.
I mean, that's kind of that dude's voice, and it works for his kind of weird indie music,
right?
Like, I like his music a lot.
Sure,
it's definitely gotten a little weirder, but I can't imagine him singing Black Muddy River, let alone anything. Here's
the thing: if they would have done that, had he come out like at the beginning of the second set and played the whole thing and like won us over,
yeah,
like just killed it, slayed it. Like, I don't know who this guy is, but that was awesome. Right. And then they come out to sing that like that for the encore. I guarantee it, everybody would have been like, cool.
Yeah.
But to like, just like as a cold open, it was just awful. It was so bad on every level. Right.
Like, what do you want to, I
would have killed. Because I listened to it this morning because I wanted to see if it was as bad as I remembered. and I was just thinking I would have killed the bin like in the room for that discussion, just so I could have put my hand up a la Jerry Garcia, missing a finger, and said, no, this is a terrible idea.
This is
pick
bad.
something else. Literally anything.
Right.
Because then they did Friend of the Devil, and that went okay. And then Birdsong was great. He played.
I feel like that's like his wheelhouse.
They played some good guitar. It got weird. It got spacey. It got super loud and energetic, and then and that was great. Like that Birdsong absolved the sins of Black Muddy River. Like it left everybody like, that was great. Whatever. Love it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I forget why I even started talking about that.
Well, we were talking about I was just looking up while you were talking about that, the set list.
For J-Rad?
Because we were talking about, J-Rad just came out guns blazing with I Need a Miracle. And I started crying. I started weeping.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, our friend Chris Meek was, he got the stream, and he and I were texting, and
oh, nice.
And like right after that opening note, he texted me. He's like, I guess we do need a miracle. And I was just I haven't been at a big show like that in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And but this is the thing that I was trying to communicate to that dude, and I wish I would have been able to, is that where you think these songs, like the well-worn grooves of where you think this thing's gonna go, it doesn't. And it's like, I was telling Kirsten,
strap in, buddy.
Yeah, because like my favorite thing is the Scarlet Rider St. Stephen sandwich to end set one.
Yeah, that's amazing. Insane.
It was insane.
It was insane.
And then they came back and they played Where's Sly, which is a Medeski Martin and Wood cover, for a hot second. And then they did The Hole's Terrapin.
Yeah.
Which
we saw them do at our first show.
Exactly. And that's what got me. I was like, once they got through what we understand as Terrapin, and then they finished it, I was like, oh my God.
So so now you're in that place that only people that have been through that understand, which is like when you say when people say, what'd you do in Denver? And you say, oh, I did the work thing, and then I went to a concert. And they say, oh, really? Who'd you see? And you say, this group called Joe Russo's Almost Dead. And they're like, oh, I never heard of that. And you say, well, they're a Grateful Dead cover band. And then they just glaze over and like, oh, well, I'm glad you had a good time.
That exact conversation happened to a friend of mine. Oh no, it was the dude I met from that school that was sitting next to me. He's like, he's like, he's got a toddler. So he was like, I'm just going to go get that Friday night. He's like, I'm just going to go grab some food and I can't wait to go to sleep. I'll probably be asleep by 8:30. And I'm like,
right.
I'm going to go see a concert. He's like, oh, cool. Who are you seeing? And I did that. The whole thing happened. He's like, okay, well, have fun, man. And then the next morning I come, glazed over eyes, kind of sucking down a coffee and just kind of still my head still reeling from the night before. He's like, how was it? And I was like, I don't even know what to, I don't know how to answer that.
Right. You just, the answer is, it was great. And then leave it, because you can't describe it. So
I can't because
as soon as you start saying things like, well, they played, instead of Scarlet Begonias, they did the Sick Jam, and then they went in, instead of going in the Fire on the Mountain like the Dead would have, they went into St. fucking Stephen. Can you believe that shit?
Exactly. And
the
Fire on the Mountain sandwich between two different opening and closing of Let It Grow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was thinking this and I couldn't wait to tell you and the other Deadhead pals. I don't want to hear any other Let It Grow but J-Rad. I don't want to hear any more. I'm done. I don't need to hear the Grateful Dead play Let It Grow. And I know that's probably going to piss you or Jack or somebody else out.
I just went, whoa.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Oh, I know. I've seen J-Rad with you. I know.
They ended the show. They out of that Stella Blue, they went right into Truckin', right? And then we're like, okay, this is it. The show's over. And then they just boom right into the other one. And I was like, I'm never leaving.
That's the way, but that's why I love that band.
I know, that's the thing. And I was telling
every time is like, well, this is the most amazing thing I've ever been a part of ever.
They're surgeons.
Yeah. And well, I like them to like stunt pilots kind of.
Ooh, that's
let's
great.
push this bird to the envelope and then let it fall 10,000 feet and then turn on the after thrusters and shoot it up 30,000 feet.
Right.
And if you can't hang, then I guess you're jettisoning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that is a great description, because I was telling Kirsten when I got home, I was trying to explain it to her, and I played her the opening song and I described the experience, and she was like, oh, this is not like the Grateful Dead cover band at Duffy. This is not the Jerry Pranksters. I was like,
nothing against the Pranksters, but different.
No,
thing.
We love you, Pranksters, but
yes,
you're right.
They would say the same thing. So
that's a great description. It's an air show. It's like,
very much so. And you're like strapped to the underbelly of the F-15.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're not flying like, old biplanes doing. They're flying F-16s or whatever. They're flying. They're going to do a lot of afterburner flybys. They're going to try to scare you
up against the mountain, through the valley.
Yeah. And there's surge. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, this is the longer conversation, and I know we've kind of had it already, but they play the music with way more skill.
Yes.
It is like pristine and perfect and beautiful.
Precision.
It's just like, it's precision. They're fucking ninjas. They
are
surgeons.
very much so. Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a different thing.
It's a totally different thing. And that's why I think it's great. It's like, and I had kind of like one of those transcendent moments where I was like, the beauty of the music is that they can find more. They're mining
that canon of songs.
Yeah.
Finding gold galore.
Yeah. There's like, they found a whole nother cavern down there.
Dead had not abandoned the mines, but like you were saying, they were taking the well-worn paths through it.
Yeah.
Which was not a bad experience by any stretch.
No. Yeah.
But even Garcia even said, he's like, we've kind of worn down the pathways.
Yeah. Right.
So we kind of pick one, and where those guys are like, give me the fucking dynamite.
Yeah.
We're going in.
Yeah. I think when we saw them before, and I've listened to their live stuff since, Tommy Hamilton, is that his name, Junior?
Yeah, Tommy Hamilton, yeah.
The guy's I had a moment where I was like, I am in the same room with a guitar wizard legend.
100%. Oh, that guy's like Gandalf. He's unbelievable.
He is like, he's incredible.
Mm-hmm. What I was thinking about, because I knew we were going to have this conversation, because is like, and this applied to the Dead too, to a certain extent, is like you pass through so many different genres of sound.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not like like for example, like that Russian Circles band.
Yeah.
Very good at making one noise.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
But after like an hour, it's like, okay, you're going to do the swirling thing, and then it's going to get loud, and then it won't be loud, and then it'll swirl again. And I got it, right.
I get it.
But with J-Rad, like you might pass through that thing, that whatever paradigm of music multiple times over the course of a 4-hour ride. And it'll be completely unexpected.
Well, I am. And I don't think it was all the cannabis being smoked around me. There were moments when they would turn on a dime the musical moment, and me and 6,000 of my closest friends around us, we didn't even know that they'd done it until like 5-10 seconds later, and was like, whoa.
Wait, what did they just do? They just turned the entire place inside out.
Yeah, and it was so weird. I don't know. There were so many moments like that where I think that there's something to be said for knowing where you're going and knowing kind of the pace at which you're going to get there. And yeah, there's going to be really beautiful moments, but it's comfortable.
Sure.
There is nothing. If you're a Grateful Dead fan or music fan at all, but especially if you're a Grateful Dead fan, and we
kind of know where this is going to head.
We know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
And they don't, and the level of elation and surprise around you of people like, holy shit, this is so fun.
Can they believe? Well, it's like a really great 4-hour long roller coaster ride where you can't see the tracks.
Yeah, exactly. It's a blast. And it's a totally different deal. I mean, when we saw them, it was at the Boulder Theater, which is not a big place.
And then the Ogden the next
and the Ogden Theater, which is not a big place.
Nope.
This is a very different vibe, man. It's like,
yeah. Well, I was thinking about, because we've seen J-Rad together on their first tour in small venues.
Yep.
And we've seen Further, which was Bob Weir and Phil Lesh and Joe Russo at Broomfield a couple times.
Yes, I had a moment like that too.
So there was a lot of kind of synergy there.
Yep.
And I was kind of chuckling to myself, the difference between J-Rad at Broomfield versus Bob Weir fucking with his pedal all night long. And
I'm gonna say it, and I think I've spent enough time with the Grateful Dead music to be able to say this was far and away better than that.
Oh yeah.
Totally different experience though. Like that was that was important for me to experience as just a human and as a fan. I was really, really great, but man, it's like,
oh, there's no question. There's no, like, if it came down between seeing Dead and Company and J-Rad, it's J-Rad every time.
I had that exact thought, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I probably halfway through the second set, I'm like, well, yeah, if somebody was like, you can have this experience or this, you can't have both. What are you going to do tonight? I'm going to
see J-Rad every time. That's
every
an easy
time
decision. Now, having said that, I did just see Bobby. I just saw Dead and Company in Denver, a month ago?
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
They killed it doing their thing.
Right.
I mean, I had a great time. They took chances. They went outside. They did things that they wouldn't normally do.
Mm-hmm.
Like within that scope, it was an adventurous concert,
Mm-hmm.
but it also it's kind of like tied to a lot of legacy,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Both
Yep.
personnel wise and just kind of expectations wise,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that they frankly couldn't do what J-Rad does, and,
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's the joy of this thing of ours, is that it's it can be whatever it wants to be.
Yeah. I think that they're the. Yeah, I don't think they would sit down and look at, okay, how are we going to move through this? I'd really like to go from Scarlet Begonias right into I Know You Rider. I'd like to. I don't know that if they sat down.
I bet they plan set lists. I bet
You know
they
what I
plan. I bet they walk on stage with set lists.
Oh, you mean J-Rad?
J-Rad, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I'm saying the Dead and Company wouldn't look at it this way. Like, let's switch this up.
Yeah, they do actually, though.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess they do.
They've really mixed up the set lists. Like, you're not like the show Jack and I saw is a great example of that. They sandwich things together in a way that I'd never seen before.
Mm.
And it was great. It was kind of like one of those, they're still working at it,
Yeah,
like they're not the Beach Boys out there slogging out Barbara Ann and Help Me Rhonda, you know what I'm saying, and Good Vibrations.
Speaking of, this is totally a tangent, but I'm going to say it because I think Kirsten will get a kick out of it, is that when Kirsten and I a while ago were gifted tickets to see the Beach Boys when they were on their tour or whatever.
Yeah. How was it?
It was great. It was fine, but sure. But Kirsten was convinced that the song was Bob a Ram with an N. Like no, Bob, like no. Bop a Ram. Bop a Ram. No, it's Barbara Ann.
Barbara Ann, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I actually just got done reading a book about the genesis of that scene, like Southern California surf rock.
Oh wow,
it was interesting. And well worth the time, by Joel Selvin, the same guy that wrote the Fairly Well
right on
biography thing. Yeah, he's an accomplished rock and roll writer, but he got into there's just a ton of names in that book that later became, I guess, more recognizable and important. Like, for example, Phil Spector. He was just kind of a weird guy around the scene at the time, and he ended up being a weird guy around the scene a lot later too. But but it's really focusing on Jan and Dean and their relationship. They actually kind of predated the Beach Boys by a little bit. And
yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, were the Beach Boys sort of like a corporate?
No, well,
were they considered legit, or were they?
I see. That's a good question, and the answer is I don't know. I mean, I guess what was interesting about that is something that historically is that, I guess people our age and younger just kind of take surfing for granted. I guess it's a thing.
Yeah, right.
And in 1957, 1958, it was not. It was a very niche thing located primarily on certain beaches in Southern California.
It was a indigenous cultures thing in Hawaii that it wasn't like a popular.
I see, more about that than I do. But I
don't know that, but I know that like surfing has been a thing that humans have done in those areas.
But it wasn't a nationwide phenomenon. People in Seneca, Kansas were not thinking about surfing in 1958.
Exactly. Right.
You know and so like they had never seen it. They didn't know it existed until people like Jan and Dean and like Dick Dale.
Yeah.
Definitely a pioneer of that. And then a couple movies where like all of a sudden the entire country was infatuated with this Southern California lifestyle.
Was it those Frankie Valli movies, or was it like Endless Summer? Because I feel like
there were a couple, like Gidget was the first one.
Oh, okay.
Who
Beach Blanket Bingo?
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. That all kind of came later, as that was maybe one of the first corporate pile-ons.
Okay.
Where like there was kind of a quote legit like surf rock thing, and then all the record companies go, holy fuck, we can exploit the shit out of this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened, and that was in like the late 50s, early 60s, and then the same thing happened to quote the San Francisco sound later,
Exactly.
and on and on and on ad nauseum. But anyway,
Yep.
that was it was just interesting. I found it this is kind of an aside, but like Jan and Dean's career was kind of up and down and up and down, and some of the early stuff's just awful. It's terrible. I listened to one of the, like, their first big hit, and I'm like, it's called Baby Talk. It's god awful, man. It's so bad.
Sounds like
and then like 5 years later, there was like in an attempt to kind of revive things, there was like, we're still baby talking or something. It's just it's so bad.
Keep fucking that chicken.
Right. And they try, but like later, one of their things, like in an attempt to be relevant, they wrote like a pro-Vietnam song.
Oh.
While Jan was trying to get deferred out of the military.
Perfect.
Right. And I'm like, you know what? Screw you, pal.
Yeah.
But then he had a horrible car accident, and then he suffered tremendous brain injury. And I'm like, okay, well, that sucks, but still, dude.
So
anyway.
like pro, like, hey, everybody should join the army and fight communism
and beat hippies up, but I'm going to try to get deferred from the draft. I'm not going to go fight, but you totally should.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really not a great moment for him. I I kind of liked him. He's kind of interesting until that moment. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
No, that's not okay, man.
That's wild.
So, but that also just shows like that makes me appreciate musical artists in general that, kind of practice what they preach a little bit.
Yeah. Integrity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cause there was no integrity about that. It was just an attempt to cash in on anti Vietnam sentiment.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then, so by that point though, they were already kind of established in like the surf rock world. By that time, the surf rock fad had faded. Right. Okay.
And so they were attempting to be relevant post that. Right.
Yeah. Kind of like Kid Rock is right now.
Oh God. I saw a thing that said, Kid Rock makes music for guys who have to blow into a breathalyzer before they drive.
Dude. So one of my favorite comedians, and he also streams shit on Twitch. He's also on Duncan Trussell's podcast a lot. I still haven't listened to that one you sent me. I got to do that. So Duncan Trussell and Johnny Pemberton, they do these weird sort of improvised conversations where they go off on these tangents.
Yeah.
You remember a long time ago they were talking about, the taints of the ancients
of the ancients. Yes.
So they have a podcast now called The Leather Rose.
I can't.
It is unbelievably it's just the weirdest shit they put these weird voice modulators on, and they're like pretending to talk, and it's just improvised.
I don't have time for that,
dude. You have to.
I don't have time.
They're like
that.
The Leather Rose, like their conversations are only about 30 minutes long. I swear, put it on your way to your job and back.
Okay, fine.
It is the weirdest shit you'll ever listen to. It's great.
Whatever.
The Leather Rose.
Okay.
You have to. I don't know why I brought up Pemberton.
I don't know.
Oh fuck, I forgot why.
A wormhole just opened up. I'm not getting pulled into it.
Yeah, no, you got it. Everybody should listen to The Leather Rose. I'm gonna tag them in this. Johnny Pemberton, like his like Twitch streaming during the pandemic was so out there and wild, it like saved my sanity. Like he's so weird and great. Yeah. Anyway, I don't even know how I got on that.
So I got to back up a little bit because, Dave Gracie sent in the group chat that Cortez the Killer, was it Dave that sent that? I think it was. Yeah. Because
he posted that. He posted he was listening to Zuma.
Yeah, Zuma. Okay. So, and I had never listened to a studio version of that song because I've always listened to the live ones. And the dad when Government Mule Guy, Warren Haynes was in the Dead, like they played Cortez the Killer. It was great.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is that from Live Rust?
Well, I'm sure it's probably on it's probably on Zoom. I don't know.
It's on Zuma, but okay.
Yeah, it may be on Live Roast, but I know it from Weld because I saw that
Okay.
tour.
Okay.
Whatever. So anyway, then somebody sent the Built to Spill version.
That was me.
You.
That's the only version I heard that version before I heard anything else. Somebody's
really?
like, you got to listen to this song. And I was like, I think for a while before somebody else probably schooled me, I thought it was a Built to Spill song.
Oh, well, that makes sense. And that version's great. And I kind of listened to I started listening to it the other night, whatever, when you sent that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that sounds good. But I was listening to it this morning when I was on my way to go do a thing. And oh, this is gonna get heavy. There's something about that song that's always like I love it, but I can't listen to it always because I'm just like I'm not in a place where I want to have those feelings right now. And
it gets me too. I remember the first time I heard it, it was like, oh my, I mean, this was heavy, long form rock and roll that was saying something very specific. I was not prepared for.
Right. Well,
you know, like I can like Bob Dylan's Masters of War can do something to me, but that's 2.5 minutes.
Right.
This is 22 minutes of this is fucked.
Well, and it's that and it's that chord progression. Neil Young is a master of that, harnessing those 3-note guitar solos that just wrench your being through these minor chord progressions that are not gloomy. They're like introspectively sad to an extreme.
Yeah.
and that little, I say little, but that E minor chord progression just over and over and over with those guitar solos. That the Built to Spill version is great.
Yeah.
And I'm literally sitting at the stoplight at 48th and Pioneer today, crying, just crying, because I couldn't explain it other than that song. Just it was, and then the light turned green and I composed myself. I wasn't like blubbering, but I had tears streaming down my face.
Yeah.
Because of that song. And that doesn't always happen.
No.
It happens. Well, I mean, it can, but
yeah.
It was beautiful.
Dude.
It was very cathartic. It obviously needed to happen. We've got I guess I haven't really talked about it, but like Holly and I are getting ready to move.
Yeah.
And just down the road a piece, not like out of town or anything, but like we've been kind of grieving like this house a little bit.
That's like your first house.
We've lived here for 16 years. I've lived in this house longer than I've lived anywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, the tale of the tape. There's been a lot happen in this house.
Yeah.
And some of it good, some of it not so good.
Right.
Some of it great, some of it not so great, and it's just been like a lot. And so to kind of, I mean, we're very happy to move. It's a blessing. Sure. We're thrilled, but while we're in this whatever limbo state, it really has given us cause to reflect and like just how fortunate we are, and like how, I mean, this is where our kids were born,
Yeah. That's where Holly was on, like
bed rest
and like, I mean, that those walls kept your children alive, warm, safe. I mean,
it's pretty intense, man. Like, and I think that's part of it, is that we've just got all that stuff going on.
Yeah, man.
And it's all good.
Yeah.
It's like we're not moving because we're being exiled or escaping violence, or
right. There's not bombs happening. Like
we're not in danger of being imprisoned for being for saying that our government can go screw itself. So I guess we're lucky in that regard.
I think that's really beautiful, though, that you are recognizing and grieving in real time versus saying, let's just get out of here. Let's get to the house. Let's move. Let's go through this. And then and then you happen to drive by the old neighborhood and it all comes up while somebody else is moving in and not cutting the grass right, or
I never cut the grass right, so that's not a
can confirm.
Right. Yeah. Right. But that's just it.
Well, remember the grass? We planted that. Remember the grass, and you like killed that grass.
I killed the first yard. So you and Brandon helped me plant that was a long time ago, dude. You helped me plant this yard.
Yeah, that was year
in 2006. Yeah, that was in the summer 2006. You helped me plant this grass.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy.
Mm-hmm. And I remember you sending photos
about that.
I remember you sending photos of like, it's growing.
It's
like,
growing.
I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not in as good a shape now, but that's just it. It's like now I'm moving to a neighborhood where like I'm actually going to have to maintain the yard.
Oh, dude, you got the HOA?
Yes, there is one of those, but it's also like all the yard. It's literally like, it reminds me of A Wrinkle in Time.
Oh,
the kids with the balls,
yes.
Yeah. And like just that uniform perfection down the street.
You got to,
there will be that expectation now. I'm now living that part of the American dream, apparently.
Well, you got to like, you can't turn your yard into like I see people with yards and they're just like, like there's this one house like on, I don't know, 11th and B or something that it's like just totally a wildflower haven.
Yeah,
it's so great. You probably couldn't do that.
Somebody. Oh, we absolutely could not do that where we're moving. And the punk rocker in me just wants to burn the whole thing down.
I know, right?
But there's a house in my current neighborhood around the corner from us that they planted intentionally like wildflowers and grass and stuff in their yard and put up a sign like, hey, this is what this is supposed to be.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I think the punk rock in you should lean into the dadcore mowing situation. Like get some Bobby Weir short jean shorts.
Right.
Get one of those. Right. Get one of those old school radio headphone things with a big antenna.
Get out there and mow the yard.
Get like an old like mid 80s Toro.
Right.
Mower, like
the whole
lean
thing.
into the dad like that. You're still doing the thing,
right?
But you're doing it with kind of a middle finger to everybody.
Right.
That's what I think you should do.
Well, here's the thing: have we had the pots and sticks discussion?
Pots and sticks.
Pots and sticks, yeah. In this neighborhood that we're moving to, Holly pointed it out. Like she's like, "Well, we're gonna have to get some pots and sticks." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh, I know. Like those big clay pots with
with
random
the branches,
bamboo sticking out.
Yeah, or birch. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Is
2/3
it a requirement of the HOA?
Well, it kind of looks like it might be actually, because
and your sticks can't be over 4.5 feet,
and they have to be a certain diameter and a certain color. So there's like 2/3 of the houses have the pots and the sticks in the driveway between the garage doors or by the front door.
You can only display aspen 3
Right.
months of the year. Everything else has to be birch or bamboo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, bamboo, I mean, doesn't really go.
And all of your white Christmas lights need to be at least 4 to 6 inches apart. We can't have twinkling. No inflatables.
You can twinkle. We can twinkle. And your wife actually told me, she's like, there's in your neighborhood, there's 3 or 4 people that feel the same way you do.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And but so like on the other side of the street, a few doors down, there's a house that has this giant green, like it kind of looks like a globe, but like an orb. It's like this lime green bright thing sitting between 2 other garage doors. I'm like, there's my guy right there.
There he is.
There's my guy.
We have neighbors right down the street that have the house. I mean, before these folks moved in, that there was a flagpole there. It's like on a corner of the block. Well, before so I don't even know if anybody displayed a flag. Like if they put a Husker flag or something up there, the previous owners. This family has a big middle finger flag that they fly all year round.
Oh, that's amazing.
And when Kirsten and I were riding our bikes by it, it was flapping in the wind. We were like, yeah. I don't know the political leanings of those people, but I would much rather see that flag than any other. I mean, even if it was my own particular point of view, like just a big middle finger flag, the whole neighborhood to see. Right. I love it.
If I had that, I would also have below it one of the like "Have a nice day" smiley faces.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you gotta get in where you fit in, man. You gotta get your weirdness. That's what I'm saying. Like find some like old school radio headphones with an antenna, and like you have to put 4D batteries in there and shit. You got to go for it.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious. I've done a little cyber stalking of our neighbors, and for the most part, they seem all right. There's a guy that lives across the street and one door down that he's a full-on pussy grabbing.
Does he have what my brother lovingly calls the snaky no steppy flags?
Oh yeah, that's funny. No, but he does have a gigantic Ford truck with a license plate that says 50 cow on it.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm like, I kind of hope like when I get to meet this clown, I shouldn't say that, I'm being judgmental. Whatever clown. I've seen his Facebook post. He's a clown. But go up to him, just like do the like ultra super macho like handshake. Fuck yeah, man. I'm so glad to meet a righteous brother, man. Let's go fucking grab him by the pussy. You know, fuck yeah, let's go shoot some immigrants. Yeah. And just,
right.
Just do the whole thing.
Oh, all of it.
Like when Harold is trying to get out. And remember Harold? Have you seen Harold and Maude?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
When Harold, what he does to get out of military service, where he just goes crazy with the general. It's like, I can't wait to go kill some people. And the general's like, wait, what? And the general's like, yeah, can I stab him? Can I shoot him? Can I gut him? Can I put a knife in the throat? And the guy's like, maybe we don't need you.
It's actually a great tactic when you're talking to somebody that you completely disagree with. Like, you know, so somebody's like,
weigh in.
Yeah, like somebody's like, yeah, you know, these vaccines, I mean, they're asking us to get a booster now. We don't know what's in it. So I'm not going to be like, you know what? You're right. I think it's alien piss. I think like it's the piss of aliens that's been mixed with lizard
I've done my
sweat.
own research.
I've done my research.
Saw this YouTube channel, and I can definitely confirm that it is in fact alien piss.
Right. The Earth is hollow. It's alien piss mixed with lizard sweat. And eventually
I have proof.
And you know, all those LED streetlights they're putting in now, it activates it at some level in 2 years when Trump doesn't win.
That's when the purple street lights, that's actually the clue to go.
Yeah, man.
That's the signal.
Because they're all going to be in by 2024. And then when Trump doesn't get elected, they're going to turn them all on and we're all going to turn into lizard alien people and take over, man.
I'm in. It's a very strong platform. I'm convinced.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So you should totally go. Let's not drive by the thing you said earlier, though. Like, I'm really, I think it's, I mean, Kirsten and I haven't thought about, we haven't raised children here, but like, this has been our home. We haven't really changed the things. We decorated it and left it. Like, we're just kind of here. But I kind of had a moment. I'm like, if we moved, it's like, I don't know. Like, that's a lot. There's a lot in these walls, you know, like, I don't, yeah, you don't feel like you don't want to get attached to things, but like, that's like, something like, I don't know, like ancient elemental, like this that's been your cave. That's been your bear cave, your hovel, your shelter.
It will be strange coming home from work and going into an unfamiliar dwelling.
Yeah.
You know,
this is my insecurity and my base jealous nature, you know.
Sure.
It'd be like, I would be weirded out driving by the old place and seeing people in it. I'd be like, is he treating you well?
Well,
is he loving you like I loved you?
Oh God, I have a feeling that this guy's going to take better care of this house than we actually did.
Oh, nice. Right on.
You know, if I'm being honest, you know, there's a lot of benign and not so benign neglect here.
Sure.
Just because that's the way for a long time, it's just because things cost money, you know.
Things cost money. Yeah.
And then it came like, well, we could do that, or we could let the next owner deal with that.
Exactly.
So we chose route B, you know, and it's worked out fine. So what it kind of boils down to, and Holly and I had this discussion. I'm like, I don't like, as long as like wherever she is, that's where home is.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Yep.
So wherever Holly and the girls are, that's home. Then it might be weird for a little while, but that's, you know.
It's weird and it's also exciting. I mean, I feel like, you know, like you and Holly, but also the kiddos will be, I'm sure they're probably going through their own grief too.
They are. We've talked about it.
Are they just stoked?
I
don't know.
The thing is, they've only been in the house like once for an hour. Like they don't have a lot of frame of, that's cool. I know they liked it when they were standing in it, but now it's like, we're going to be a little bit farther away from their friends. It's going to be a little bit farther away from school. It's going to, like it's not all positive for them. So right now they're kind of feeling that a little bit like, well, wait a minute. There's, it turns out there's pros and cons.
Yeah.
And that's real. So,
and just that, they know nothing but those walls.
Right. It's literally it's their entire life.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're definitely, it's going to be a transition for sure. Even once we get in,
Yep.
So, yeah, but we're talking about it. So,
because when you were a kid, like you're kind of a military kid, like, did you have the stereotypical moved around?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I mean, I lived in Lincoln and from age 4 to age 15.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And that was all in the same house.
Right.
So, but that's, obviously older than my children, but have the experience of uprooting and relocating and
totally,
like you it's just a transition,
right.
And I think they kind of understand that, like nothing, like we're still going to be a family unit. It's not like we're separating or whatever,
Yeah.
We're all going as a unit to a new place.
Yeah.
So, and I think that helps,
But it's just that feeling of when you're a kid that history is so short, but it's so deep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That like they don't have the longer view. So it's like, the memory that when they look at a certain room and they see that place, it's like that's all they've known.
Yep.
And it feels like forever, but it's only been a blink of an eye. But it's so deep to them that the time hasn't stretched out that deepness. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. I know what you're saying.
So it's like they,
well, it's like your friends are like everything at a certain age.
Right.
Like this is my peer group is that's the totality of existence.
Right. And if it's not going well, then everything about my life is fucked.
Yeah. Hopeless. Yeah.
I have no resiliency yet to say, you know what? She's being a real asshole.
Right.
I'm just going to give him a minute to cool off, or we'll be fine tomorrow. Like,
or
oh
whatever.
God.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And that peer groups wax and wane over time.
Yeah. That's mind blowing to try to wrap your mind around as a kid, Well,
it's like I try to tell them that, like, especially if they're having problems with people at school or whatever, it's like, just because you're crammed into a box 5 days a week with these people does not mean that you're meant to be friends forever. That's literally all that's happened. It's the only reason you're together is because you have to go to school.
And you're giving into your instinctual social nature as a human being to try to like have a, communal experience. This will change and you will have different people. Yeah.
Well, and there's, clans and whatever.
Right.
And just because it's just because the cool kids aren't vibing with you right now probably means actually that you're just cooler than them and you're intimidated. They're intimidated by you.
Doesn't feel like that though at the time, man. It feels like you're being ostracized, and it's like on an elemental level, I'm being kicked out of the clan, the tribe, the whatever you want to call it. And I'm not going to get fed or clothed.
Right.
I'm going to die. I have to do whatever I can to get back into that group.
Yeah. And by doing that, that's just going to make things worse. Just people, just like animals, can smell fear and desperation.
Yeah. I'm really stoked for you guys, and I'm actually like, I mean, I guess on a trying to be better level, I'm really I think it's really cool that you're feeling that's the thing that I'm trying to do, that I've Kirsten is a super great example of to me all the time, of like, feel the shit when it's happening, let it pass through you so that you can be present for the journey my instinct is I'm going to throw that in the back seat. And then
Right.
when I slam on the brakes in a couple months, it's all
Right.
going to be on my dashboard.
Right.
How about that? Can we do that
all
again?
those partly eaten sandwiches and all that stuff's just got to come right up front.
Yeah, because like you described, like there's been a lot of joys, been a lot of hurts,
Mhm.
been a lot of ups, a lot of downs in that place. And it's like, oh, feeling that. Oh, feeling that. Like throw
Right.
it back there.
Throw it
You know,
back
but
there.
like
yeah, no, we've been doing a pretty good job of like talking about that and
that's huge.
trying to work through that together, you know, as opposed to like compartmentalizing it and just being fine.
Or turning it into like a fight.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Well,
like
that's,
turning it
that's
in-
my specialty.
How can I weaponize this human emotion that I'm feeling
Right. Yeah. Against my loved ones.
and not take any responsibility of the fact that it started as a feeling within me?
Of course.
I've sharpened it into a spear and now it's
Right.
your fault.
Pretty much. It's my favorite. It's worked out real well.
Oh my God. That's yeah. I
Uh-huh.
totally identify with that.
Mm-hmm. Somehow this is all your fault.
Somehow, why are you not my mommy? Somehow this is all your fault.
Right. Right. Why aren't you my mommy?
Yeah, that's like super mature and spiritually fit, my friend. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna it's almost like going through an old shoebox of
Mm.
photos. It's like you can let that shit totally consume you, or you can see it for what it is and move through it. And I feel like that's
I've
the
done a
cool
fair amount
thing.
of that the last couple of months because I've been
Oh,
finding those old show boxes full of photos, you know.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Looking through like baby pictures and it's just a lot, you know.
Wow, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, soon the house that you're living in will be referred to as the old house.
Right. I know. Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, it's like,
Mhm.
oh, at the old house.
Mhm.
Remember the old house?
Yeah.
You know, like it's wild. It's the way it should be, I guess.
Yeah. Well, apparently that's what's happening.
Yeah, moving on up.
Here's hoping. Don't ever move, by the way. It's a
Oh
nightmare.
no, nope. Kirsten and I, like, we may get a dog, but like we're not having
Right.
kids, so like I don't, we could, but we don't need anything more than
Right.
what we currently have. It's really
Right.
wild.
Mhm.
We could dump a bunch of money and totally improve this house and make it state of the art and totally be fine, because there's like
Mhm.
there's really no need to like have more space.
Right.
Like it'd be weird for us to have a 4-bedroom house. Like
Right.
we already have 3 bedrooms and that's way too much.
Right. Yeah, we're in a place where it'll be good for the kids. That's really
Yeah.
what it's about, you know.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah. Did we, I think we did it. Did we do
Yeah,
it?
it started out. Thank you. That was like a great JRAD show. I didn't know where we were headed.
Good God.
You know?
Yeah, well, that's here's the one, like our friend Dave H talks about back in the day, back in the 70s, there was a thing in Lincoln among the deadhead community called the 32nd degree deadhead,
Okay.
which is that once you'd seen them 32 times, you were starting to have a clue.
Ah,
Right.
yeah.
And I think
like
you're starting to get into that realm now where it's like you come home from that and people are like, so how was it? It was good.
it was
It was
yeah.
good.
I mean,
And
it was great.
Because I've been that way for a long time, which is
Mhm.
like I've given up trying to. No, you don't understand.
Yeah.
They came
Yeah.
out and then they did the thing, and then and people are like, "What?"
It almost cheapens it to try to. It doesn't. It's like
Like people
I-
people that know.
that's why I was excited to talk to you about it. And Kirsten is really like a huge, like, I love that you had that spiritual experience with
Right.
it.
And now
But
I'm
yeah,
done.
I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't need to explain that to my coworkers. Like,
No, you don't. Uh-uh.
you know,
No.
but what was I gonna say? Oh, one thing that's cool was that I went there solo,
Yeah.
and the row behind me were my best friends in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
Right.
the dude next to me, cannabis is legal in Colorado. I don't know why he's still smoking like old trash.
Oh, that's
Particles.
funny. Right.
It was
That's
like,
funny.
really,
Yeah.
guy?
Dude,
Like,
go down
you're
the street
standing
and get some good stuff.
go down to come on, that's terrible. He
You
kept
can
blowing
smell it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, bad.
I went there solo and it was great. I stayed it was wonderful. But I went full freak. I just went full freak.
Yeah.
It was like freeing and wide open, and
they just go ham shit crazy.
I was like, I'm under no obligation to like communicate what's going on with anybody around. I love going to shows with you and people that are in, but it's nice every once in a while to get really weird by yourself.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. Mm-hmm.
That was really, I didn't know I needed
later.
that.
I will check you dudes later because I'm going out.
Yeah. I'm getting weird.
I love it.
I full on freak. So
beautiful. I'm really
I'm grateful to you for taking me to further at that same venue and introducing me to J-Rad, because without all that, I wouldn't have had the kind of cathartic experience I had with them.
Sure. Well, I'm really grateful that I'm just glad, I get to live vicariously through you in that event, because I'm like,
cannot wait.
Joel's at J-Rad.
I cannot wait for you to hear that audio. I really hope it gets posted soon.
I'm sure it will. Did you see any mics in the audience? Did you see anybody taping?
I saw some out back by the soundboard.
Yeah, good. It'll be up then, probably today.
But it was live streamed on Nugs, so I'm I'm sure the audio is either purchasable that way or out there somehow and in another way. So
yeah, we live what a time to be alive. If you would have told me in August of 95 that 26 years later would be like the best time to be a deadhead, I would not have believed you. But it's like it's better than it ever was.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I can't wait for you to hear this show. It was complete skullfuckery is what I like to say.
I love it.
So all right, man. Yeah, we did it. I love you, dude.
Love you too, man. We'll see you sometime.
Yeah, we'll see you around.
All right, later.
Bringing me down, I'm running it round, winding the line of the interstate cars, passing me by, the buses and semis, punching like stones from the slingshot on Mars. Well, I'm here by the road, bound to the low. I picked up in 10,000 cafes and bars. Below with the rush of the drivers that won't pick me up. The highway, the moon, the clouds, and the stars. And the black-throated wind keeps on pouring in with its words of a life when nothing is new. And Mother American night, miles from the light. Oh, and I tried it in you. In Alice, St. Louis, city of blue. In the midst of a storm I'd most rather forget. Try to pretend it came to an end, 'cause you weren't the woman I once thought I'd met. But I can't deny times have gone by. I never had doubts or thoughts of regret. And I was a man when all this began, who wouldn't think twice about being there. The black-throated wind, whispering sin, speaking of life that passes like dew, forced me to see you done better by me. Better by me than I have done by you. What's to be found racing around? You carry your pen wherever you go. what you don't want to know. So I gave you my eyes. Yes, they were just in the sky. Will help me to look as well as to see. And catch your glance. Oh, and make it dance, make it dance. I'm looking at you, looking at me. The black-throated wind keeps on pouring in with its words of a lie. They can almost be true. Yeah, Mother American night. Here comes the light. I'm turning around. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, I'm going back home. That's what I'm gonna do. Well, you done better by me than I've done by you. Oh, and I drowned in you. Well, I'm turning around. That's what I'm gonna do. Well, I'm going back home. This is what I'm gonna do. Well, you done better by me than what I've done by you.
Don't forget, toot your hooter.